Haere mai from my heart place to your heart place, EJ, to the Heart Place Hospital podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Jackie. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. So I'm so thrilled to welcome you, EJ, a personal stylist and a dopamine dealer and the founder of Sisterhood of Style. With a passion for empowering midlife women, you help them and me rediscover their confidence and personal style. So after navigating early menopause yourself and a breast cancer diagnosis, you experienced firsthand the transformative power of fashion and overcoming challenges such as decision fatigue and body image uncertainty. Through your personalized coaching, you guide women to embrace their unique individuality and wear what makes them feel empowered. A strong advocate for dopamine dressing, you believe in the positive mental health benefits of fashion, using style to boost mood and cultivate joy, one outfit at a time.
I couldn't have written that better myself.
Now I know how to write that because I'm one of your clients.
One of my very treasured long-term clients.
Yeah, in fact, when I look back, when you first started, because I just thought it was such a I just thought you're just so fabulous when you started. I think was it that 8 years ago?
Nearly 10. I'm
Was it really?
my 10th anniversary, yeah.
Amazing. And so I remember the first time I invited you to the book club that I'd created at the time, and it was so fun.
Yes.
And then I remember I had you round for a wardrobe edit, and I feel embarrassed now because I just don't. But it was fabulous, and that was as much as my nervous system could actually manage, because I had such a belief around actually investing in myself to that degree. So it took me another few years before I was like, actually, you know what? I don't have to be a surgeon's wife to go to a stylist.
Right. It's as much self-care for yourself and investing in yourself as, going to get a facial or, having your nails done. I think when you are hiring someone like me, there's a long lead-in time, but it's kind of once you get over that kind of mindset of this is what other people do, I think it can release you from so much. And I guess what you were saying before, I'm part of your circle, I'm part of your feeling circle. I'm a tool in someone's toolbox of life. And not everyone gets as much joy from clothes as I do. Most of my clients hate shopping without me. And many people feel overwhelmed by what's in their closet.
Yeah.
And so I take some of that and simplify it for you, or, make it more enjoyable, or at the very least, make getting dressed much easier every day for you.
Yeah.
If that's my baseline, then I've done my job well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the Healing Roundtable, so this is why I wanted to have you on, was I love showcasing to people that, we don't need to rely on sitting behind a desk with a GP to tell us how to actually increase our well-being. There's so many, we're multidimensional beings, and having a whole health, whole person support team is so important. And I also talk to our visitors about, you can swap those people out too. Um, and what I love is I talk about how we meet in with our own expertise. So I meet you with your expertise, which is phenomenal. What you do for me, I can't do in the time frame that we do it in. So I meet you with your expertise. You meet me with mine, which is, um, I guess I've come with I'm so excited. So
But you come with full trust as well.
yeah.
Yes. And that's very reminiscent of many of my clients, where the nerve factor is high, but actually the excitement for themselves
Yeah.
and what they might get out of it is better or bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. But I think that's the importance of getting to know someone either in person, like you and I do, or online.
Mhm.
Yeah, I come warts and all on my Instagram page because that's also a calling card for people to go,
Mm.
oh, I like her, or I trust her, or I like what she does. I don't have to emulate how she dresses, but I like that she might take me under her wing and help her. And I think what you were saying about having, a myriad of tools in your toolbox, and I use a toolbox for my own healing from breast cancer, and it is a long, slow journey to find what those tools are. And as you say, I swap them out as I need, you know, whatever it might be. And for others going through their own self care journey, I think it's really important to know that certain things don't have to be considered just luxuries. Certain things are helpful at different times of their life.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. And that was me. So my when we first went together on a styling session, I had just left bedside nursing
Yeah.
and was stepping into entrepreneurship and showing up on Zoom calls and podcasts and things like that. So I needed a whole new look. It was a whole new version of me. And then since then,
No, Jackie.
yes, yeah. And since then, that's been, gosh, nearly 4 years, and, um, we've revisited again because I've morphed again, going from entrepreneurship into philanthropistship and into being a founder and a CEO and fronting a board. It's and fronting, potential partners. It's a whole 'nother look.
It's massive. And I think
Massive.
it's also life,
Yeah.
go probably more for change. I mean, as a stylist, my style doesn't change. It's always on a broad sort of brush stroke of, dopamine dressing, maximalism, big chic in there. But I reserve the right to change my look as many times as I like in my life. But it wasn't until my late 30s, early 40s, and when I started Sisterhood of Style, that I really stepped into my power, which was styling myself for a better day or styling myself for confidence. And that's what I hope to bring to clients like you. So when you are needing to be in front of the camera, I'm thinking about what's going to work for you, but also just as well as, and I know that dress, that beautiful dress that you've got on, it was an outlier. I so remember you trying it on, you thinking, oh no, this isn't me. And then you putting it on, doing a twirl in the changing room and going,
I need this.
I
Yeah.
I wear this. And I think sometimes we compartmentalize what we can and can't wear based on whether it be, financial mindset or whatever, parameters we put around ourselves. And then you try on this dress, and I've seen you wear it multiple times.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And I think that is so special because it becomes this joyous thing, or it becomes this, style becomes your confidence boost for yourself. And then the projection of that, or the extension of that, is that it becomes a talking point with people. People might ask you about your dress.
Yeah.
It might start a conversation with a stranger. There are so many ways that you can use styles and manipulate your day for a better one. That it's a joyous thing, and to see your growth over the last few years that we've worked together is quite incredible, from being quite shy and nervous and doubtful of yourself,
Mhm.
and you grow, Jackie, as a person, doing what you do with Partners Hospital, but also how you're turning up for yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure to watch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and yeah, it's exactly what's happened, and I think, like, using this dress as an example, it took me to an edge. I was like, "Oh, like, can I?" And
Yeah.
and it was and that's
Right.
where I sort of really witnessed myself tapping into my interoception, so actually embodying and getting the answer from my body, as opposed to getting an answer from what my belief system is, what I've been told, what
Right.
Yeah, and so it was a full body hell yes. And you're right, like this I think we've had this for a couple of years now actually. And so it's come to some pretty wild events and been in some photo shoots and I've done a podcast with another nurse and she's got this dress. So we did it we wore the same dress. Um, but it is a talking point. It is very much a talking point. And it's led to opportunities as well. So, um, yeah, I just really want to emphasize that it's not, it's the, the expecting the unexpected from having you on my healing round table. uh, yeah.
Well, I think dopamine dressing is something that I used particularly during my breast cancer journey.
Mhm.
I would turn up to chemo in a fabulous outfit. Followers would share their own outfit that day and kind of camaraderie with me. I went through treatment for breast cancer in 2022. So Omicron was very much part of what we were going through. I was isolated from my friends and family for a good 8 months. And so style and dopamine dressing became literally my personality during that time because it got me through. It gave me a sense of control when my whole life was out of my control. But it didn't overtake me. And I think that's really lovely about your dress is it's not overtaking you. It's just a beautiful compliment to what you offer and how you go about in this world. And that for me is when style really comes into its own, is it's not just vanity. It is very much part of how we express ourselves. It's a calling card when you walk first into the room and people see that dress. Someone might, oh, I really want to go and talk to that woman.
Yeah.
Offering to someone, it's also saying that you're perhaps confident, and there are days that could offer you confidence. So I mean, look, yes, I've had time to think about it. Yes, style is my life, but I do truly believe in those pillars that it can provide you armor on a bad day, it can provide you confidence on a good day, but it can also offer you a sense of well-being about who you are and getting to know yourself, from wearing perhaps plainer outfits to moving into something with a little bit more dopamine can be a real step into I'm knowing myself better. And this is often what happens with midlife women, right? We get a little sense of, oh, I can do that. I'm giving myself grace and space to kind of do something a little bit more wild, more confident, a little bit dressier, whatever it might be in midlife. And this is why I love working with midlife women so much because a lot of us are changing and a lot of us are learning about who we are. And I think style is one way that we get to use to express that.
Yeah, I talk about the dismantling and the rebuilding.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for us to surround ourselves with people who are taking the more solution focused or the more open minded lens to that. And I think it's amazing that we are now talking about menopause and midlife and however I find a majority of that is very medicalized. So I appreciate you've been through a medical journey and honor you on that. But I also feel like there's magic to it, and that's what I would love to see more of in this space, so that our sisters, who are still to come, 80s and 90-year-old, from the 80s and 90s, can look up to us from the 70s and go, doesn't look too bad. Doesn't looks okay.
Like that having fun. I mean, they were different, but they look
Yeah, they look like the weird auntie that we stopped inviting to Christmas, but they look like they're having fun.
she's a little off her game sometimes, but then I think, yeah, um, look, I fell into early menopause through medical stuff that happened, not breast cancer, earlier than that. And it was early. No one around me had menopause. No one had menopause symptoms. I was literally like swimming in this massive ocean with absolutely no idea how to handle it or what to do. And I remember thinking, we've got to talk about this. We've got to make this more well known. And honestly, I could say that people thought I was nuts and or just rabbiting on about something that would never affect them. And sure enough, 7 years later, my friends are all going through it now and coming to me and going, so this is what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, that was me too, because I was early menopause too.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is these moments in life, and everyone will get it differently. Everyone will react differently. Some will have no symptoms. Some will have all of the symptoms. And I remember one day looking up. I mean, I will admit to this, but it had a really my first iteration at menopause. My first
Expression, I call it expression.
one, love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Was rage.
Okay.
I was probably, my marriage suffered for it, my friendships. Do you know what it was, though? It wasn't until my friendships started suffering that I really put two and two together, and, got some help. But I will say that what menopause has taught me is that we all go through things very, very differently, but we can all understand that something is changing in our bodies, whatever it might be, even if it's just a loss of a period. I think the realization you come to is, oh my gosh, where's the support? Because when I got my period and all of those hormones were surging through me at 13, 14, there was quite a lot of support and there was a celebration from my mum and my nana when I got my first period, going to buy pads and tampons and things like that. To being in the wilderness with menopause and the fact that it's taking our generation, Gen X, to talk about it more and celebrate it, commiserate with it, understand it. And then today I pulled out the list of over 50 symptoms that menopause would cause. And I think I had 48 of them. I was just blown away because it gave a parameter or sense of understanding of it, what half of the world's population go through. And it's insane, but also quite liberation.
Yeah. And that's what I love. I love twisting symptoms to expressions. And I love to, tell the truth. That it's
Hats off over it because a hot sweat is a hot sweat.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
a zillion fans,
yeah.
um, you know, and also,
But I think for me, I believe those of us who have bigger experiences, go through bigger expressions, are molded to then show up and be able to be the voice and be visible to this evolution, like this evolvement that we go through, that we are actually designed to go through, but we have never heard of. Um, and it's only humans, whales, and elephants that actually go through this evolution. But there's magic on the other side. So the magic is it's a little tricky because we've also been in a world where we've been kind of discouraged to have our families early. So we're often still parenting as we're going through evolution. So it's tricky for us to actually step aside and create some space for us to have a bit of a smoother passage. Um, and so I totally get that. I totally get that. But that's something that I would love to see change from future generations is actually someone said the other day someone had a baby at 19. I'm like, that's when we're designed to have babies. I mean, and how wonderful is it that she can go and transition through menopause and her children will be self-sufficient, presumably.
yeah, look, I'm raising two beautiful sons, 18 and 15, and they are divine. Uh, you know, we talk about what the effect of this stage has on our families and my husband. I mean, I was pretty harsh. I was pretty rough. And I think, your husband's changing at the same time. Your children are coming up through the teens. It's all full on. And I saw this great meme the other day going, I just love how I live in a house of, perimenopause rage, teenage hormones, and a guy that can't hear very well.
Oh my God. Oh, I love it.
Our house to a T. And I, we don't have a playbook necessarily. I mean, you can do all of the reading that you like, but
Yeah.
because it's so different for everyone, it doesn't always gel with people.
Yeah.
No.
And I think this brings us back to having you on our healing roundtable. And when you talk about that meme, so 3 years ago, I said to my husband, "You need to get hearing aids. I don't care what it looks like. You need to get them." So he did. I stepped into, I need to have a healing roundtable, so I did. I've my I'm raising daughters similar age to your kids, and I want to show them that when they get into mature life, that they can take radical actions and that they have choices. And I mean, I had so much dismantling to do because I had so many limiting beliefs around money. Like I said, a surgeon's wife goes to a stylist, not a nurse or not someone creating a
We do clients that use other stylists, but that's probably not in the space that I sit.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, with our service providers with Park Place Hospital, we have multiple service providers that provide the same service, but we want to have multiple choices because that's your IP. Your IP is you. It's your energy. And so I naturally resonate. We're on the same radio station. So I naturally resonate to you. So I it's EJ or the highways. um and and I just want to also really talk about what it's like. Like I know, we do a form and I share with you my body changes, what I'm working on at the moment, where I'm being seen, um, who I resonate with. I love that part of it. So Instagram stylist resonation. And then we meet in person, and what I love is I know that you've been there for an hour before, solely looking for me. And coming from a profession and coming from the gender of like always putting other people first, knowing that someone is there for an hour beforehand, just solely think about me, it brings me pure joy, so much joy. It's like no no therapy session could bring that amount of joy for me. So there's that part, and then when we meet, it's just like it's all fresh.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of chatting.
Yeah, lots of chatting. And then we just have it's a beautiful space that you provide. And regardless of where I am in my body image um spectrum, I feel really safe. I feel so safe. And I love how, I can see you. You're looking at my energy as I put things on, and you're like, no, it's a no. And I'm like, wow, I thought it was a no too. Like we're actually engaging through energy. And then and I can see you when I put something on like this dress and I did the spin and you're like, Jackie. I was like, I know. I know. It's me, isn't it?
We both do. We
Yeah. Yeah. And it took me to the edge, like it took me to the edge, but to this day, 2 years later, it's still pure joy, pure joy. And then when we leave, I love it because I've got bags, and I feel like I've been valued and cherished, and I feel like been hit with 1,000 dopamine injections, and I walk away, and I feel like, and we've done a meme on it. I feel like that scene from Pretty Woman where she says you get paid on commission, right? And I feel like that, and then I come home and my husband's been out with you, my mum's been out with you, so then they get joy from, what did you get? What did you get? And so the joy just continues, and then it's putting it into the wardrobe, and then it continues for the months until the next shop of, oh my God, I'm going to wear that today. Oh, I've got this to wear today. I've got this. And I know the last session that we had, I just really want to reiterate this one. It was, they were cool outfits. Like I felt great in them. And then you would say to me, look, if you're at home, working from home, just wear your slippers with this. And I thought, oh, you know me so well.
Yeah. It's getting
Yeah.
to know someone. Um,
Yeah.
and that's why you get the questionnaire first, because
Mm.
I can't go into this thing blind. And I need to understand the space that you're holding for yourself and where you are and what you're doing, who you like, who you watch on Instagram. If you do, you may not.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Um, and also colors are a really big thing for me, because a lot of the time, particularly for a wardrobe edit, I think that's more common. Um, or more important sometimes, in terms of when someone says, what colors do you love to you? And yet I don't see those in the wardrobe. That's often a flag for me to, I flag that as a thing to discuss, a thing to explore. Um, but getting to know someone on such an intimate level, because you're in the changing room with them, I'll turn around, I'll make someone as comfortable as I need them to be. But also, I've been there, I've been through many body changes, my my own personal weight fluctuates, often due to the drugs I'm on, which is very common for many midlife women. So I'm in the trenches with you. I'm not sitting above you going, I wear the most exclusive things, therefore I'm stylish. That doesn't make you stylish.
Mm-mm.
What makes you stylish, or what makes you have style, is getting a bit of a uniform for yourself so that you feel comfortable in every situation that you can go to. And I guess not having that feeling of I have nothing to wear. And so once you can master that a little bit, that's when you have that personal style and also the confidence to wear it. So I guess one of my big goals in life is to make women feel more confident about choosing an outfit without me being there. So that once our session is done, all right, Helen, you can go into your wardrobe, and I've shown you how to wear things together, how to match with your wardrobe. And that's a really special place to be, because I know from my experience, so many women feel overwhelmed by their own wardrobes, or underwhelmed in terms of choice that they have. So I think being a part of your circle is wonderful. And it's a great honor. I think though that you also come with a wonderful energy and ready to see what's going to unfold. And then 2 hours together goes like that.
Oh,
I've done your pre-shop. This is for shopping, of course.
yes,
I've done
yes.
your pre-shop. So all you're doing is walking in and trying things on that I've pre-selected for you. And now that we've worked together so often, a couple of times a year, I know what's going to work instinctively. And so that need to bring in too much into the room doesn't really happen, because I know that what you're going to enjoy or what you're going to like.
It's so true. Yeah. And I just, when it comes to the investment as well, like it pays back like 20-fold. Like
Mm.
it's a one-stop shop. I'm I feel good every morning, regardless of where I am in my body spectrum. And I, I feel, that continuous energy from that event until the next shot. We can put control on that investment as well, which is amazing.
Yes, yeah, that's really true. Is that you don't need to spend $1 zillion each
Yeah.
time. Sometimes you spend a little bit more, a little bit less.
Yeah.
Um, no one is forced to buy anything. I mean, it could also be a research situation where you're going, what suits me? What is my style now?
Yeah.
I think that's also where not giving into trends is really important, particularly at midlife. I think we can have little touches of trends that suit us, using accessories to do that. Having Getting to know your style in midlife, I think, is such an important tool for our psyche, for our well-being, our confidence, understanding shapes that suit us. You know, one of the most popular, or one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, what jeans should I wear? And usually, I mean, I'm a big no rules kind of gal, but usually I'm saying whatever pants or, you wear, style jeans on those rather than making jeans this unobtainable thing that, perhaps the patriarchy, the media has forced us to believe we absolutely need to wear jeans.
Yeah.
Not everyone does.
Yeah.
But if you find a jean that suits you, to hell with the trend. I think that's really important. And so that should also bleed into everything else we wear. If it suits you and you feel good in it, most importantly, are you comfortable? Does it put a smile on your face? What is it doing to your inner well-being when you're wearing this without getting too existential? That's what you should choose more often. Stop trying to change yourself every trend cycle because they're coming around so quickly now. Wear things more consistently that, perhaps if you were to take a deep dive into your wardrobe today, you might put some things out or, hang them up somewhere else on your bed, on the floor, wherever, and look at those core pieces that make you feel great. Pull out the last 10 outfits that you felt great in. And then I think you'll be able to see passions forming, but you'll also be able to see what's left in your wardrobe that perhaps you didn't choose isn't resonating for you. You can either purge that or put it to a side and then emulate the outfits that do work for you the best. So that shape of your dress, Jackie, takes a great shape on you. We also know that knee-length dresses look great on you. You've got fabulous legs. Celebrate what you feel highlights your personality, your body shape. All of those things come in and fit in and factor into this lovely sort of style soup that you've got. But being beholden to trends is not the way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the lesson.
I wonder if you could share with the listeners about your community that you've created, your online community, so that people they don't have to come shopping with you. There's the online community which I dip in and out of, but I think it gives us some accountability. It gets us to see other people, other women and shapes and where they've bought things and if they resonate. And it's fun. It's also fun. It's a fun space.
Called Sparkle Spot. I started it probably November, I think, 23. And I knew that I wanted to create a community, an online community, not just to talk at people like on Instagram, but to have feedback, for other women to share. It's a safe space. It's a midlife style membership. And the reason I love it is because we're in there giving daily prompts, monthly shoppable mood boards, a masterclass on something or other. This month it's accessories. And figuring out how we all tick. There's so many great women in there doing interesting things. And I think it's taken the focus off me as a stylist and it's me as a sort of community builder, where you see them taking joy in their clothes. You see people going through, really full on menopause symptoms and going, but I still got up, still got dressed today.
Yeah.
There's lots of different needs in that group, but I think it's a wonderful microcosm of what midlife women go through. Come in and out like the tide. And I think it's a fun time.
And that's what I call Heart Place Hospital. I call it soul driven and community led. And I think, now we're shifting out of patriarchy and shifting more into humanity. We're human beings. We crave community and we crave that village. So I love that. It's so cool. And I love how these things have come out of, like your journey. So all these kind of visions and downloads have come down. You're like, oh, actually, I'm gonna, and I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna give that a go. And look at it. Now you've built a community. How amazing is that? Yeah.
I think what I knew when I was sick, and was that I still wanted to be a stylist, and that I may have doubted that right at the beginning, but throughout being sick, losing my hair, losing my breasts, and sort of rebuilding myself up, it teaches you a lot about yourself, and it teaches you a lot about, what the world is. And community was the thing that pulled me through. My community just literally dragged me through, even if I couldn't see anyone. And then coming through the other side and realizing not everyone is confident to talk on Instagram or, be chatty, but actually, and there's still a lot of watchers in the group as well that never participate. But privately, they'll say to me, I love this. I love, what it does. So I think I think
Again, that's Heart Place Hospital, so very bespoke.
Yeah.
And offering everything in different means. So whether we do this podcast or whether we do a workshop or a satellite clinic or someone sees someone face to face or over online, or whether it's a retreat or they come for accommodation, we meet people where they're at. And that's what you're doing with your community as well. You're meeting people where they're at. You look at my journey with you, my nervous system has incrementally kind of increased as my midlife courage has increased. Yeah.
It's been wonderful to see that arc too.
If you could share with our listeners what's something that's coming up in your heart place and how people can find you.
Yeah, this has been such a lovely little chat. I just, I always feel very effervescent after I've worked with you as well, or see you. So it's been a joy. Thank you. Coming up for me, well, Secret Squirrel, not so sick.
I went the wrong way.
Not so secret anymore, because you're going to hear it here first. I'm actually bringing out a line of trucker caps, because I noticed as my care grew back in, I was having some really bad hair days. And also sometimes I just can't be bothered during my hair. And so I would wear my husband's trucker caps, and I loved them. And then I started wearing trucker caps like with fancy things, and I just think it looks such a good look. So I've actually designed 4 at the moment in 3 colorways. I'm hoping for 2 more colorways to come in. Hopefully getting some samples today, and I'm going to start releasing them because I think they're a bit of fun than New Zealand produced. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. So that's something to look out for. Find me at sisterhoodofstyle.com or at Sisterhood of Style NZ on Instagram and Facebook. And I'd welcome you there. Come join our little community. It's pretty fun. We'll learn a lot about dopamine dressing. You'll learn that style is not just for someone else, it is for you. And there's lots of ways that you can make yourself feel better or have a better day through style.
Yeah. I love it.
And so I'll remind you to check your boobs every month.
Yeah, you will. You are. Thank you. We're self healers, of course. So, and just going back to the trucker hats, I'm actually embracing my wisdom here.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. So, a trucker cat would be quite good.
Color is my favorite.
And but I've got a big head. I've got a big head and big hair. So
Trucker caps are great because they are generous fishing.
yeah.
So they're not as stiff, and they've got the oh God, my brain.
Sizey thing.
Snapback.
Oh, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Snapback.
Yeah, snapback. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm in. I'm in.
And
Order up.
my favorite color is green with pink.
Thank you so much.
I approve that. Thank you
Yeah, love this. Can't wait to share it.
so much for having me.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.